get basketballs on a lot. Now, I bought that back here, the music here. We don't own the rights to this music, but if you remember, when we first started Time and Empowerment years ago, this is the music that we used to have
Yes.
coming in on. When we were back down at WDIH and we were
Yes,
down there.
throwback.
Yes, and we use this music because this music
Says it all.
says it all about why we work so hard to try to teach and reach families.
Hey, Trudy.
How you doing, Trudy?
We'll be watching the game tomorrow night for
Yes.
the win, the
Yes.
big win.
Yes, state championship in
Yes.
Louisiana. Amen. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Waiting for more to join and come in and stuff and join us here on this our first Thursday. But we thank God for what He's going to do. Yes. How you doing? Praise God. Good to see you. Yes. Just leaning over, taking a look at what I'm doing here.
There's Anthony.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, Anthony?
All right.
Hey. How you doing? Good to see you. Yes. So again, we don't own the music, but it's our theme song.
Yes.
We do need each other to survive. We need each
Hey,
other
family.
to go on. Amen.
Okay.
Yes. All right, son. I hear you.
Hey,
I be
Tony.
trying to tell people. Tell me, sing. Hey, Tony. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and what? Yeah, I'm gonna break. I got my song. I got my songs. I gotta get together and stuff. I just gotta get the nerve to put them out there and everything, because once you start singing, people be trying to book you to sing, and I don't want to be booked up for just singing.
Stay in your calling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's Uriah.
That's part. All right, how you doing? Yes, but we thank God. Thursday, we just love Thursdays. We just felt that God wanted us to move from Thursdays to Tuesdays. I think it gives more.
From Tuesday to Thursday.
From Tuesday to Thursday. I'm sorry. I think it gives more wide range opportunity for people to watch, because a lot of people have their Bible studies on Tuesdays, and Thursdays are a lot of openings and stuff. And we just want to reach as many people as. All right, Tony. She said no, LOL, but the singing. That's right. They're not ready for that anointing singing. I know, Anthony. You got it right. You got it right. So, but we're just excited about what God is going to say, what God is going to do.
Sister Rain is watching.
Amen. Good to. Oh yes, God bless you. Good to see you. One of the things that that's so important about these next series of broadcasts and what we started on last Thursday is that,
especially right here at the holiday season.
Right here at the holiday, that where we want to work at and encourage as many families and our own families to do what we need to do.
Do what we need to do.
To build strong bridges, heal, and come together in a healthy manner. Put aside and put away stuff that interferes with what God's given design for families to be strong and have dominion and to walk in power and authority and able to heal and recover what God has given us and recover each other.
That's it.
And recover each other and stuff. So
and yourself. Yes. Because as you're trying to recover others, you're getting healing yourself.
Absolutely. One of the worst things that families can do, and I really believe this. How you doing, Hawkins? One of the worst things that a person can do, and this even is in relationship to relationships, Pastor, is to get married to escape.
Oh yeah.
Families are dysfunctional, or families are not working well. They're not encouraging. They're not unified. They're not nurturing. They're not nourished. They're not nurturing one another. They're not doing what it takes for everybody to grow up healthy and without emotional dysfunctions and stuff. And so someone comes along and they marry them, and they don't marry them because their love is absolute. And I'm not saying they don't care about them, and they don't love them enough to marry them, but they don't love them enough to carry on, or they're not healthy enough in that love to carry on a healthy relationship with that person. And so many times what people do, they find it easy to get married to someone that's safer than the relationship that they're having in their homes, because the home is dysfunctional and it's abusive at some levels. It may not be physically abusive, but it can be abusive emotionally. It can be abusive in some way where that person feels rejected and feel isolated. And so if someone comes into their life and they invite them to a place that feels safe to them. Here's also one of the worst parts about it is that the person that finds them may have come from a healthy family line.
Yes.
And they may give them what they need. They may present to them what they need. But the sad part about it is the person that comes from a dysfunctional family line
can't give it back.
Can't give it back.
So the person that came from the healthy family line ends up getting burnt out with nothing to replenish them.
Most definitely.
Because you can't minister if you're not coming from a healthy place. You can't minister back to them.
Absolutely.
You and the person that did come from the healthy place, you'll find yourself in the relationship constantly giving, and wondering what's wrong.
Absolutely.
Is it something wrong with me? How come he or she can't give back to me? How come I can be so good to him or her, but they can't be so good to me?
Absolutely.
How come I can empathize with them, but they can't empathize with me? So it is an unbalance there. So it's good to be healthy in that.
And the sad part about it is, because the sad part about all of this, and what really gets messed up is, and they create a cycle of dysfunction, not because both of them has come from that, but because the other one is worn out by the one who hasn't come from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got two people
Absolutely.
that cannot.
Now, and the sad part about it is that the person that has not come from that can't understand how come this person is messed up.
Yeah.
And the person that is messed up don't know how to explain, because the person who they're trying to explain it to can't seem to fathom how this can have such an impact on someone's life.
Yeah.
It's like someone we were dealing with in Bible study, Pastor Fives. Remember, we were dealing with how it was a situation came to us where I can just generally talk about
scenario.
Yes, this 20-something year old man was being molested by his father-in-law.
Oh yeah.
And some people, you can look in the eyes of some who were there in the teaching, and it seemed like it couldn't register. How can this 28-year-old man be a victim of abuse, being 28 years old, and everybody else in the family that he was connected to? He was married, and his wife knew that he was being abused and stuff. But how can this 28-year-old man be subject to someone abusing them and stuff, or allow this to happen? And what I try to explain, and what we try to get across in this teaching, was that it's not just that he's old enough to understand that this ought not to be done, but if this man was abused at a certain level and he froze in that age, then he's a victim. Then even though he's 28 years old, wherever he started his abuse at is where he was frozen. If his abuse started at 5 years old, guess what? His mentality, his strength, his ability to turn away is just like that 5-year-old boy. And stuff. And sometimes what happens is that you find someone that has been in a family that's dysfunctional. There's been no real nurturing. Whether the parents didn't know how to parent, because they knew all they knew was the same thing that they were teaching and stuff. And so they're in this place, and they escape by marrying someone else. And it's not always women. Sometimes it's men who grow up in families, and the nurturing is not there, and the pattern for growth is not there and stuff. And they find a woman that seems to be able to nurture them and give them what they need, and they get into this relationship, and they find themselves acting out dysfunctions. And if the wife doesn't know, if the wife doesn't take time to understand what's going on, she'll just think he just wants to do that, not knowing that some of this may have come from some of the things that he was trying to escape but couldn't deal with while he was in it and stuff. So
many males don't talk about it.
No.
Don't talk about it. That's something that happened to me.
Absolutely.
And I just can't put it in words. I can't talk about it. I can't put it out there. She'll never understand. She'll think, that maybe this, or and they go through and they have this solid world that is literally a nightmare sometimes,
And this is I'm sorry, baby, go ahead.
And we as wives need to create a platform for them that they will be able to safely come out and talk about these things and still look at them like, this is my man.
Absolutely. And you hit on something that sometimes what keeps a man who's been abused, especially if he's been abused by another man, but what keeps him in under the covers or behind that wall is that he doesn't want to be challenged by the woman that says she loves him about his manhood.
About his manhood.
Does this mean, is she going to lay out a platform that makes him question whether he's gay or not? Now, and when you do that,
she's upset, will she throw this in my face?
Right.
Will she remind me of this?
Right.
What will she think of me?
Right. When you challenge him, or when you set that platform to where he can't, or he tells you and you look at him funny, you may say you're not saying or not challenging his manhood. But when you set the platform that makes him struggle with whether he can trust you or not, then it does make him have to wrestle with whether he can give you that area in his life and stuff. And although he knows he's already settled with, and it's not just because he married you, it's already been settled in his mind that he's not gay, but that this was something that was forced upon him. And this is the thing that I wanted to say also. When you challenge him about that and stuff, you're telling him, although he's telling you how this broke him and that this was not his choice, that he had an option. That he had an option to accept being abused as a child or not. And now he feels unsafe with you because you're telling him that even though he was forced upon in this situation, and that there was no other choice because of whether it be an authority figure, whether it be somebody that was stronger, or whether it be someone that had some kind of control in some area and stuff, whatever it was, you're saying that this person, this young person who was being abused, who's now your husband, and trying to get away from, we're just using the husbands right now. Could be a wife too.
Oh, yeah.
But now you're saying, and you're challenging their identity. And when you challenge your identity, you're saying this was your fault. You had a choice. You could have did something else differently. And unless you have ever been abused, unless you've ever been in a situation where your rights was taken away from, and you were crushed at a time where you wanted to make the best choices and identify who you was, all of a sudden someone came in and offended your makeup. You're telling that person at this most weakest, vulnerable time that they could do something about it.
And the thing that you don't understand sometimes, there's situations where there was threats
Yes.
that may have been made. Let's say the child at the time when they were being abused, male or female, the victimizer told them, I got a gun. And if you say anything, I'm going to kill your mom. I'm going to kill your grandparents. I'm going to kill anybody that's, that you love. So
Right.
out of love for them, you become a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah,
allow this person to continue on to abuse you because you didn't want to see your mom killed or your dad killed or your grandparents, because this is what your victimizer told you that they would do. And because of how they were doing you felt that they would carry it through. So it wasn't where you just sat there and let it happen, but there was a lot of fear and trauma going on. And you felt like you couldn't talk to nobody.
And I think sometimes when we're dealing with trying to get families to be healthy, we have to deal with sensitive areas like this is. The worst thing we can do is hold an emotional gun at the head of the person who's already been threatened by something else. And it doesn't have to be a gun. It could be whatever threat that may be.
I was just using that as an example.
Whatever threats there may be that has caused this person to be victimized. The worst thing you want to do is not allow this person to stretch past that by at least being able to share that this is something that happened to me that I did not want to happen to me. And this may be some of the residuals that you see in my choices, in my decisions. And I'm not saying that we at long term can make excuses for the things based on the things that we went through. But we need to, as family members, we need to, as married people, to not just jump to conclusions that broken people like being broken. That I wake up in the morning just to make a bad choice, just to make a bad decision. Yes, we do have to at some time gather the strength from God and seek deliverance and seek healing and stuff. But don't forget that we all play a part in the nurturing of one another. The scripture tells us to bring one another burdens. That doesn't stop just between brothers and sisters to go to church. We have to do that, brothers and sisters and family members in our families and in our homes, that we make sure between husbands and wives that we're nurturing one another. And nurturing is just not encouraging what we see good, but we lay a platform that makes it easy for the person who's acting out bad to be able to communicate some of the things that they may know what's causing them to be bad.
We as spouses and as parents, we have to be able to be open enough for if something like that happened, that that victim realized you have a refuge.
Absolutely.
You have somebody that you can come talk to, and they're not going to jump on you and judge you.
Absolutely.
That you will be able to tell them anything.
Absolutely.
And they will be there for you.
Absolutely. One of the things that, we just slipped into that and stuff, but one of the things, and that's important that we do understand, especially as family, because there's a lot of stuff, and I'm going to say this, y'all, and I hope nobody thinks this, gets offended by this, but there's a lot of incest and there's a lot of molestation that goes on in families and stuff, and it's a hush thing. Nobody talks about it. Nobody says anything about
taboo.
it. Yes, and I'm not saying when I say nobody talks about it, that we need to go around and just beat people up. But that person who's been victimized don't need to be continue to beat up because they have to suffer with this thing by themselves. People need to be able to share this with people that love them, and families need to galvanize. They need to get together and stuff and say, everybody, and I say this for future reference, I say this for right now reference, everybody is not lying on that man that you think is good and is not. If he doesn't respect it, and I say this with all clarity, if he doesn't respect your relationship, why should he respect the boundaries of your family?
That's right.
if he's not someone that can control his passion towards his hands and towards his life, towards you, why should he control anything towards them? And your children, you can't always say your children is lying. Sometimes investigate it. If the child's not telling the truth, if something has happened to cause the child to exaggerate, then deal with it. Don't kill them, but deal with it and stuff. But don't just take for granted just because your child lied in 10 things that they're lying at the 11th
Exactly.
thing. Especially when this thing is so traumatic, it can be so traumatic to the life of the person. But I just think this passing is, and moving to what we're going to talk about tonight, is that we have too many angry people in families.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about on the last broadcast.
For whatever reason it is.
Absolutely. We were talking about on the last broadcast. We were watching a show, Dr. Phil's show, matter of fact, and it was a mom and her daughters were on there, and they were angry with each other. Matter of fact, they even fought. The daughter said at one time when she was fighting her mom, said she wished the mother had died and stuff, and they were trying to talk back and forth, and I noticed and realized that these daughters were just angry just to be angry. They weren't coming on Dr. Phil's show to get a solution. They weren't coming on Dr. Phil's show to find out how to deal with this dysfunction that's in their family. They were just coming on Dr. Phil's show to express their anger and didn't want to go any further. You know, if anything we're going to do about healing, whether it be in our marriages and in our families or in our churches, if we're ever going to come away from problems and issues that cause bitterness, anger, and stuff, we can't just want to express where we're angry at. We've got to be willing to deal with the thing or deal where we're at with that anger and bitterness.
You know, it's time to come out and stop talking about it.
Absolutely.
And start to do something about it. Get a plan.
Absolutely.
Get a plan. It's enough talking. We don't had, you know, we're going to talk, but talk is cheap.
Absolutely.
You know, we have to be able to come to the point now, okay, now we've talked about it, we realize that there's a problem, now let's sit down and strategize and get a solution to what we're dealing with.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, we have just had
do the same thing. Now, you know why this is most important to y'all at this time? Because we just went through Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you that some people sat at tables, they made promises, they put up with people that wouldn't put up with no other time of the year. They ate food. They didn't eat some food.
To come to the family.
Or
wasn't invited to
Absolutely.
come.
And all these things went on and stuff, and people made excuses why they made these kind of stands. But nobody ever, after all this is done and people are offended and decisions are made, nobody ever decides, let's do something about this.
That's right.
We know there's something wrong. We know there's a dysfunction. We know that people are messed up in our family. We know that things are not going right. We know the only time we ever meet is when somebody dies. We know, or when somebody gets sick, or when something tragic has happened. We know that's the only time. And the sad part about it is, if the only thing that pulls us together is tragedy, where is love in this? Where's health in this? Where's the function for the next generation in this? And I guarantee you, what's going to happen is that if we as families in the whole body of Christ, if all of us don't deal with what we need to deal with to bring our families closer, our children and their cousins and their so forth and so on will always be estranged. So after a while, nobody will know where they came from.
True.
They'll ask questions and they won't even know who the person was, where it started at, to be able to trace their family line back to find out who they are and what they are. So my encouragement is,
and then before you know it, there's interdating and intermarrying because you didn't know that you was related to this one or that one because the family was so estranged.
Absolutely. Somebody married somebody's cousin and it's yours.
Yeah.
And you didn't know it because nobody didn't know who somebody was and stuff. So we can't just be angry. There are people out there and family members out there and stuff that they're angry and bitter over things that has happened and stuff. And everybody's taking a point of view of how they should deal with it, except deal with it with each other. And stuff. So it's time for us as family, if we're gonna enjoy life, if we're gonna enjoy and really enjoy holidays. If these holidays is gonna be and we always say it, Christmas is about Jesus. The season is about Jesus and stuff. If it's really gonna be about Jesus, then we have to follow through what he stands for. And he stands for unity. He stands for health and he stands for healing. So we have to be able to deal with, not just be angry. And I gotta be honest with you, there are some people in our families. Let's be real. There's some people in our families that can make us upset. Some people in our families can do some. We can too. There are some people in us in our families. We can do some stuff.
All can.
Yes, we can do some foolish stuff. We can do some stuff, and some of us, after we think about what we did, can kick our own self in the head. But the bottom line is that we can't just recognize where we messed up at, and it can't always be somebody else's fault. Somebody cannot always be the source of your anger when you're holding on to it. And I've said this, Pastor, so many times. If somebody does something to you in 1985 and it makes you angry, you're legitimately angry. But if you're still holding on to that anger in 1986, that's your problem. That's your dysfunction. Because we shouldn't hold on to something when especially if we have or we're not making an opportunity to bring a healing or give forgiveness or find out what the problem is.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get so lazy that we don't do anything about it. We just keep on going and just say, well, it's their problem. They said it. They did it. I ain't going to keep chasing after them. This is not about chasing after them. To the core of it, this is about saving heritage.
Yes.
This is about saving family. When we find that or realize that, y'all, it's worth the fight.
Yeah.
Amen? Okay, Pastor Flowers.
Okay, where do you want to start at?
We can start like we said, we can start
Right
at
here,
number
on
4,
number 4?
and then we can go ahead and roll on down.
Okay. What number 4 says, like the daughters on Dr. Phil's show who just wanted to express and exercise their anger just to make the parent or sibling that they were angry with feel guilty, and all other feelings and emotions that would lead them to taking responsibility for their harvested dysfunction by their own choice, acting like they had no choice but to act according to what their parent and or family line has forced them. The reality is that every bad behavior, bondage, or motivation can only take off in their life when they choose to submit to what is being suggested by the enemy through any family line, curse, bondage, or struggle.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yes. On this show, these girls were angry. I don't know if anybody else saw this show.
Yeah.
These girls was angry. They were bitter. And when there was a question about why they were so bitter, it was always because of the mom.
Because of the mom.
Now, the mom never claimed that she was good. The mom never claimed that at the beginning. The mom said at the beginning, she took responsibility. At the beginning, she said at the beginning, I was a bad mom. She said that. She took responsibility. She said, now what I'm trying to do is, she said, I'm trying to get my family back together again. I don't apologize to my daughters over and over again. And I've tried to let them know how sorry I am and stuff. And every time she would say that, the daughters would retort back, yeah, I heard your apologies, but do you really mean it?
Yes.
See, there are times, y'all, like this family, we said this on the last broadcast when we dealt with this, there are times, y'all, that there are angry and bitter people in your family that want more than an apology, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
They want you to apologize, but they want something that they cannot define. But if you really define it, or if you really put words to it, they want you to hurt like they did.
Yeah, they want to see pain.
Yes.
They want vengeance without
Yes.
asking, for
Absolutely.
it, because they want to stay in the, spiritual position. Well, God said vengeance is His, so I can't take vengeance,
Right.
but I want you to hurt.
Absolutely.
I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to bleed.
Absolutely. If the parent, if they feel that the parent made them feel rejected or isolated or not any good of any value and stuff, and they became bitter over it, and they became angry over it, like these girls did, they want that parent to feel the same way. So when that parent reached back out, when that mother reached back out to them, they did the same thing to her that they felt that she did to them, even though she was trying to apologize and take responsibility for doing it. They didn't want that. They wanted more than just an apology. They want more than her feeling sorry. They wanted her to hurt. They wanted her to feel like they felt when they felt like she was rejecting them or abusing them in some level or some way. Y'all, if we're going to recover our families, we can't continue to want to make the other person who's hurt you, who's offended you, who you're estranged to, feel like you felt when they did that to you. Somewhere in this line of family, somebody has to realize it's worth fighting to come out of this.
Yes.
And not trying to make everybody feel as hurt or as separated or rejected, or whatever words you want to put to it.
Yes.
Whatever station you find yourself in with your family.
It's got to stop
It's
somewhere.
got to stop somewhere. We got to deal with it. You can't stop talking to Uncle Jim because Uncle Jim got drunk and said some things he ought not say and stuff. You can't stop talking to Aunt Sally because Aunt Sally at one time was color or complexion sensitive. Let's be real. There are some that are complexion sensitive. They're size sensitive. If you don't look like this, if you're not this complexion, they may not care or like you that much. But you can't keep holding Sally because that was her dysfunction. Don't let her dysfunction be your problem.
That's right.
Don't let her carry you to a place that you can't function in the family because this may have been all she knew. This may have been how she was treated. So she adopted that. She adopted that law and that rule and stuff. Now, I'm not saying she gets a free pass, but don't just, if you're going to be angry and stuff, at least legitimize your anger.
Yes.
Talk to her about it. Tell her how she made you feel. But don't go, we said this on last week, don't go all willy-nilly angry now. Don't go all mess it up and stuff. Then you end up and auntie may just start swinging and stuff
And
and
you
all
got
that.
the attitude. I'm gonna go over there and get her straight.
Right.
Stay home.
Absolutely.
Because you're already going in the wrong platform.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're going over there to reason together, and you honestly going to reason together, then maybe it's time to sit down and talk.
Absolutely.
But if you going over there in the passion of your anger, passion of what happened, and so forth, so on, stay home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to always be able to when we're coming to solve something, we want to come in an atmosphere. We want to be able to reason. We want to be able to talk. We want to be able to dialogue. We want to be able to have a conversation. I want you to know how I feel, and I want to be able to when I talk to you, have set an atmosphere where you feel not threatened and you feel like you want to talk back to me. Let me know why you treated me like this. Let me know why you made me feel like this. I need to know this. I need to know what you were dealing with, what your issues were dealing with. And sometimes, y'all, we may find that there were some issues or some emotional laws that was established in them from their parenting, and it helps everybody break the yoke or break the family line tradition of dysfunction when we start to have a dialogue, when we start to talk, when we start to communicate about what's going on, instead of just being angry and being separate and stuff. And all we do is come together on special occasions. No special occasions are the main event, not the family. It's the key thing. The family is not the main event. It's a special occasion and stuff, and no healing ever takes place. Whatever we promise at that special occasion, we never follow through with, because it's not the family that's a special occasion. It's not the family that's the focus of it. It's a special occasion. Yes. Amen. All right, Pastor Bars.
Okay. There are those that could have a strong and lasting effect on the progress, health, and deliverance of their family and family line by them understanding that defending their own emotional point of view without considering the feelings and the point of view of others who have been affected is destructive.
Absolutely.
You just can't think about yourself.
No.
You just can't think about, well, this is my point of view. This is how I got hurt. This is what happened. They did this. They did that. This made me feel such and such and such. And you can't just hold on to that.
Absolutely.
In regards to whether they're healed or not.
Absolutely. Pastor Fonz, I guess what I would think about is if we go into a discussion trying to really bring families together, and all we want to do is argue our point of view.
Yes.
And argue how long this has had an impact on us. One thing I hope that we can think about is this. If you go into a situation where you're trying to bring some conclusion or closure to a situation, and the first thing you want to argue about is how long you've been angry with them.
Yes.
And you want to force that point, how long you've been angry with them. One of the things you need to take in consideration is it may not be their fault that you stayed that angry that long. Because if you stayed there and never said anything, you never brought it to their attention. So they could. If there is a chance that they would take responsibility, that's your fault.
That's your fault. Yeah. That's
your fault. If you say nothing to them, if you just close the door, walk away, and stuff, and stay angry for 10 years, and then there comes a chance, an opportunity rather, or an encounter, or something happens where you're able to talk, and you just go to them. The first thing you want to engage is, I was mad with you for a long time. I was just upset with you. You need to just be quiet. Because if it took 10 years for you to be able to communicate to them, then that was your fault and you were comfortable in your anger. Now, some may disagree with this, but there's no way in the world, if someone came to me and painted something on my forehead and I left it, and it said fool or simple up on my forehead and everything, and I got mad because they did it, and I'm so mad I ain't even going to wipe it off. And I walked around for 5 years with that thing on my forehead. And everybody that saw me, everybody that engaged with said, what in the world you got that on your forehead for? And I said, my uncle Hickman did it on there, put that on there and stuff, trying to make fun of me and treat me bad and stuff. And I'm so tired of this mess. And you know what they would look at me and said, do you take a bath? And I said, yeah. So you tell me you take a bath and you wash everywhere on you except that place where you get that thing written on you? And I said, yeah. And I think it's okay for me to do that because I'm angry and upset with them. And the person would think,
but see,
I'm looking at it.
That's your badge of honor.
Yes.
That's your badge that say victim.
Yeah, you see how
that's how come some people don't wash it off.
Right.
Because they want to be seen as the victim. They want to be seen, look at how good I am and how bad they were.
And that's 50-50. But there are some cases that's just they're stuck there. They can't move anywhere. And the person who said that, if that was me looking at someone else, I would say, well, the reason why you still look like what they say you were when they made fun of you is because you keep wearing it.
You keep wearing it.
If you take it off, you're taking responsibility for your own health. And no matter who sees you, they won't see the injuries or they won't see the signs of what Uncle Hickman did to you. And that's the same. That's what I'm saying about when you're angry with someone, and it takes 10 years for you to bring it to their attention to find out what really went on and see if they're gonna take responsibility to help you bring closure to this thing. If you wear it that long and stuff, you don't clean. You don't try to clean every area in your life, knowing that things need to be cleaned except that one thing. So then my question, my statement to you is then you may not be. It may not be your fault what they did, but it's been your fault for you carrying it, for you still wearing that same thing that they did to you.
And whether they ever apologize or not.
Yes.
Whether they ever come to the point of taking responsibility.
Right.
You know, that's your point of view. That's how you see it. I didn't see it that way. I never done that. And you know that they're lying. You can't convince them to take responsibility. So, for your own health,
Absolutely.
for your own spiritual well-being,
Absolutely.
you have got to come to the point of saying, you know what, I'm going to wash this off of me.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get this off of me because I got to live forward. Because as long as it's on you, you're marking time. You're not going to move forward because that will hold you back.
You know, one of the things, Pastor, and I'll say a little later in the teaching, and I don't know if we'll get to it tonight, but one of the things we say is that somewhere in this thing that we're dealing with, when we're dealing with family, when we're dealing with health in the families, when we're dealing with offenses that go on in the families, they said somewhere in this, it moves from being a problem to a my problem.
Yes.
Now,
it should have been handled when it was an us thing. But, you know, because whether the other person didn't want to handle it or you wanted, you know, not to talk or whatever the reason was, it should have been handled.
Right.
Okay.
But look, but what's the matter? But look, if I come to you and why, hon?
Nothing. Just
okay.
Just go.
If I talk to you, why you look at me like that? If I talk to you about a problem that I feel we have, and you're willing to work at it, and we're willing to deal with it, that's an us problem.
Yeah.
But if I come to you and I explain to you how you made me feel, and you look at me and tell me, that's your problem, that's your responsibility. I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I don't feel it's that way. And I'm not willing to take any responsibility or even consider that maybe I have presented something to you wrong. I'm talking about families now. Then it moves from being an us problem because I realize you're not going to take any responsibility or part in this. To me now, I have to unload myself and be able to go on because I don't want every family member, whether it be through my mouth or whether it be through my actions, be a victim of what went on between us. And sometimes...
And that happens.
Yes.
Because they'll take sides.
Yes. And sometimes... But the thing I'm saying, son, is that not that they take sides, is that what I carry to them or what I carry from that encounter with that family member, I also treat other family members in the same way. So, but I don't want every family member to be a victim of what happened between me and Uncle Hickman. If me and Uncle Hickman can never see eye to eye, then that's what we have to be. But the problem is that I can't let this thing go through the family that either my actions mistreat other people or my mouth calls other people to mistreat Uncle Hickman. They may not have the same problem with Uncle Hickman that I do. But I certainly don't want to be, and that's what family members have to understand. What we certainly don't want to do is, we certainly don't want to cause a rift in the family. And and as you said, people start taking sides, and I start making victims out of people that take the side of Hickman, Uncle Hickman. So we've got to be willing to take responsibility, understand that, you know what, if we can never get on the same page, and we can't come together and take some responsibility, because I'm coming to you, and this is what I hope we do from this point on. If you hold yourself as a victim to what somebody did to you 5 years ago, that's your fault. I'm just being honest. And I'm talking about if somebody said something to you, somebody made a total lie on you, family members lie on each other. Family members will lie on each other. And we talked about, we're going to put up a tape, a message a little later about telling the truth, but family members will lie on you. But that's not the worst thing that family members can do. The worst thing that family members can do is y'all never talk. The worst thing that ever happened to a family is when family members just don't talk. And when they don't talk, they can't deal with issues. When they can't deal with issues, it continues to reproduce in every generation. Before you know, every generation is acting like the first person that started the problem in the family line. And now everybody looks at everybody the same way. And you have internal battle royals in the family and stuff, and nobody's doing anything to stop the fight. So that's the worst thing that anybody, not just lie. Now, nobody needs to be lying on each other, but the worst thing that somebody can do is not just lie on you, but their families stop talking. Families stop communicating. And then 10 or 20 years later, all you have is just all you have left in the generation is the ones that lied on each other and don't talk to each other. Everybody else is gone. Mama, dad is gone. Grandma's gone. Everybody's gone. And the only thing you have left is the ones that don't talk to each other, the ones that don't communicate with each other, the ones that lie to each other, the one that's angry and bitter with one another and stuff. That's a lonely place to be when you got families. You got brothers and sisters, you got cousins, you got nieces and nephews. You got them out there. And because of the strife and the dysfunction of the family line, you can't feel like a family because you won't deal with the hidden things that's under the cover of what is called family. Amen? Okay.
We make a devastating impact on the dysfunctions in us and the family when we do not deal with and remove the issues that we have allowed to be created between family members.
We make a devastating impact.
We do.
We destroy what it takes to be a strong, vibrant family. That when we
it shouldn't be where we sit down and say, "Man, I remember we were so tight.
Woo.
The family was so tight. When something happened, we all was there. When this went down, we all was there. But what happened? Everybody scattered. What needs to happen now is we need to come together.
Absolutely.
And find out exactly what it was that caused the families to scatter. And then really honestly deal with it. And start to recreate that tight bond that
Absolutely.
the family had at one time. So that the family can be tight again. So that people can look and say, that's a tight family.
Absolutely.
So that the family can be unified.
Absolutely.
That where one person hurt, the whole family is able to come in and say, okay, we're going to empathize with this. We're going to help you in this area. We're going to fix this. We're going to, do what we can in this area. Not just, monetarily, but emotionally.
Absolutely.
Being there for each other.
Absolutely.
And not stabbing one another in the back. Not thinking you're the big eye and the other one is the little you.
Absolutely.
Not making somebody feel little because they don't have everything that you have. That's not how families was supposed to be created. But in so many families, you see that. You see those who, have been blessed.
Absolutely.
And who do have a little bit more. And they'll stick their nose up at the other part of the family who simply don't have it.
Absolutely.
Well, they should have did this here. They should have did that. And all of that may be true, but still love them.
Absolutely.
That's your blood in them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's sad. And I as you were talking, I was just thinking, how many of us that will either listen to this teaching or that somebody will tell them about this teaching and they will defend their stand against why they don't hang around certain people.
I don't hang around them. Yeah, that's fair. I don't hang around them. If they have an issue, they have a problem, have you talked to them about
Absolutely.
it? Have you offered them help? And if you have, keep on praying for them.
Absolutely.
You never know what day you're going to knock on their door and they're going to say, you know what you've been saying, I've been hearing ringing in my ears. I'm ready.
Absolutely.
Can you help me?
I remember the story that you told about a woman that you was working with, and this can equate or go the same for families. And this woman would give you a hard time every time you go to work. Every time you go to work. And
Lord, I used to pray every day. I'm not gonna tell where I'm working at, but every day coming home, I will pray because she would get on my last nerve, man. I would come home every day. I would hit a certain road, and I would be praying. Lord, move her. Lord, take her here. Lord, take her there. Oh, my God, just get her out of there. Lord, or move me or whatever. And I remember coming home on one occasion, and the Lord said to me, and everything I was telling the Lord was true. She was doing that. She was a supervisor. She was doing that stuff, and she was this, and she was that, man. She was getting on my nerves. Couldn't even hardly get my work done because of how she would get. Anyway, I was coming home this particular day, and boy, she had just showed off so bad. And I hit that road, and I started my prayer. And I began to pray, Lord, move her. Lord, do this here. Lord, do that there. Give her. I was even telling the Lord, give her another job. Everything. I don't care. Just move her. And I remember by the time I got to the railroad track, the Lord wasn't listening at me. He wasn't hearing a word I said. When I got to the railroad track, he said, put down your arms and put up mine.
Right.
And man, I felt this little.
Yes.
But I understood what the Lord had said to me. Stop being selfish.
Yes.
Because the only thing I was thinking about was myself and how she was making me feel. And I wasn't able to look past how she was making me feel and understand what was making her.
And what she needed.
And what what making her react the way that she was. So I began to pray for her. I began to pray. Oh my God, I felt so convicted because I was selfish. I was selfish in my prayer because I wasn't thinking, anything about, what I felt. And I prayed all the way home. And the more I prayed, then I'll pray some more. I pray some more. Well, that Monday I went to work, and I said, well, I'm prayed up and everything. Got to work, got to my position where I'm supposed to be working at. Here she come. And this time she come, and Apostle, she bumped me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Jesus, I know you saved me. I said, I'm not going to let Peachy come out. I'm going to, still be sister, whoever I am. And so I didn't say nothing. So she come back, and she stopped where I was at. And she started messing with the stuff that I'm supposed to be working on. I'm thinking to myself, now look, you got to get out of here. You got to go. So right there, I want to start praying and bonding loose and everything. I did want to. And all of a sudden, she started talking to me. She said, guess what? I said, what? And she said, I gave my life back to the Lord this week. Oh, my Lord. I felt this little, because I agreed to start praying again, Lord, move her. I felt so little, but it let me understand one thing. There was a purpose to God's plan. She was getting on my nerves, but God wanted me to pray for her.
Absolutely.
Because it was time for her to come back in. And then she told me, she said, and then not only did I get saved, but when I was at the altar, giving my life back to the Lord, said, I looked back and I saw my husband. She said, Ruth, you know what? I went up. She said, I really went up and I began to pray. And the thing is, after that, she and I became so good of friends. We would go into the supermarket and almost have church in the supermarket. But I remember the beginning time of it was she got on my nerves because she had a problem that I was supposed to minister to.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we don't know that that person that's getting on your nerves is the very one that you're supposed to be ministering to.
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't care if they're saved or not. Sometimes what God has invested in you is what they need from you.
Is what they need.
They don't need you to remember. They don't need you to remember how ill they acted. And I'm not saying that. Please don't misunderstand. But we said this at the beginning of the last teaching. I'm not saying we need to be a doormat to anybody's dysfunction.
No.
But what I'm saying is that give the anointing and God in you a chance to reach what God has in them that He wants to pour out that the devil has invested in them.
Yeah.
So
she saw in me
absolutely
what she should have been.
And she didn't know how to communicate it. Yeah. She just got angry. Sometimes there's family members in your life that they see things in you that they cannot appreciate. Let's be real. Amen. They cannot appreciate, and it makes them upset and frustrated, and they react to their frustration about what they see in you that they can't see. Why is that you? Why why is God blessing you, or why is God favoring you with certain things? Why do you have to be the one? Don't get upset.
You think you're better than us.
Right. Don't get upset and bitter with it. Ask God, what can I minister from this point, so they won't see that I've taken on a spirit of pride towards them, but that we can work together to get to where God has all of us to go to. So, and if Pastor Flowers had just been bitter, or when that woman came back and hunched her, and she'd have hunched her back, and so she'd have never heard how her life influenced her to give her life back to God. And y'all, that's sometimes the same thing we have to do when we're dealing with family. We have to be able to walk clear enough in the convictions that we say we have. And that's for everyone that calls themselves a Christian. I don't care who you say, it doesn't make a difference who you say in your family that offends you. If you come out of what you ought to be as a Christian, then you sin.
Yeah.
You sin. Yeah. And then it's wrong for them to do certain things to you. But when it pulls you out of who you ought to be towards them and everybody and stuff as a Christian, yes, and stuff, then we walk in sin. We have to be able to this in this season. And
right, that's what you're saying there.
And where,
in number one.
Yes, you can read it if you want.
Okay, fact number one. There are offenses that are going to happen to you. But how you present yourself in or against those offenses will actually prove or affirm how true your claim to want peace, as well as how honest or innocent your motives were in presenting what may have caused the conflict in the beginning.
Absolutely. That's the difference. One of the things he said as we go on, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much, but one thing, it doesn't matter how you come into a conflict, but how you come out of it.
That's it. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You may be pulled into something that you didn't want to be in. Somebody may say some things in a family member that you don't like to be said and stuff. There's nothing wrong with communicating. I don't like you the way you said that, or I don't like what you said. But if it escalates and it brings you to a place where you come out of your Christian box or come out of your Christian standpoint and stuff, then we sin and we make the offense even worse. But one of the things I want to say this and get back to the holidays. we just did Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And when we come together as a family, we can't come together as a family because I'm hungry, or I can't come together because I like the way some of them cook sweet potato pie. I like the way some of them cook this or that and stuff. It has to be because we're trying to really nurture what we are together as a family, and we don't come in just to eat. We come in to discover what can we do to build on this.
Yes.
And what we will miss in this season is that some will pass gifts to people that are angry with, only to say, listen, they're saying in that gift here, but they're not saying in this gift, here's me too. What can we do? This gift is just not a symbol of the season, but it's a symbol of, or it's a token of what I want us to do. And that's the thing we need to understand. These gifts pass. Some may not give any gifts. Some may not go over any family members, because their anger means more than that family, than that person. And when that happens, y'all, we're in worship as a family. When we can't put down our arms and submit ourselves to what it takes to bring health and healing to their family and stuff. Not just because it's Christmas, not just because it's Thanksgiving, but because this is something as Christians that we ought to do. This is something that as families, we ought to do. And stuff. And we ought to do what it takes to bring our families to a healthy place. So the recycling of issues and dysfunctions, and then being able to get to a place where family members are hidden in the closet over bondages and brokenness, and they don't have anybody to go talk to, because nobody knows how to counsel with love and help. They just know how to hear and then talk about it.
Another thing too, you look at with families, even with the example of Jesus, when you know that there's a family member who feels outcasted, or feels like they're not good enough, or is standoffish because they feel like they don't mount up, then you take the responsibility, draw them in. Let them know, hey, you still family.
Absolutely.
You still a part of the family.
Absolutely.
I remember when Peter denied Christ, and then when it came to the point when Jesus called the disciples back together, he specifically said, and bring Peter.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think Peter would have came because he would felt like, well, I'm just not worthy. Sometimes you got family members that don't feel worthy. You who are lovers, who are strong, you need to go to that family member, pull them in and let them know, look, hey, you're one of us. Absolutely. We got the same blood running in our veins, and we're not going to let you go out like that. Absolutely. You're still family. Absolutely. Well, I don't have a suit. Well, you know what? I got something that might fit you. Absolutely. I don't have a suit. I don't have a three-piece suit. The only thing I have is a shirt and a pair of pants. Good, then I'll wear a shirt and a pair of pants. Just to make you feel comfortable. Absolutely. We as family members need to even learn how to call and edify one another. Absolutely. Call and say something good to one another. Do you know that there are some people in families that is hard-pressed to find anything good to say about one another? We need to be able to be able to say something good about one another. Absolutely. Call and just encourage you. I just want to call you and encourage them.
Yes.
I just want God bless you, Bishop Mola. We're praying.
Yes.
Also, just want to call and encourage you and let you know that we love you. We're thinking about you. And when you hang that phone up, you don't know what that has done to a person's life. Just that little bit of phone call. Because we're family. Because we got the same blood running in our veins. Because we all carry that same name. Because somebody cared enough to try to bring us together. Because so a lot of times you grew up in families. Not every family is dysfunction. A lot of times you grew up in families that were tight-knit, but then as time went on, something happened. Absolutely. Like an explosion happened in the middle.
People got grown, and sometimes it's the glue that glued the family together that sometimes passes away, and then when it passes away, the fact that what kept the family strong, what kept the family unified and stuff, is no longer there. You'll
hear people say, boy, if mom or dad were here now, they would have a fit to see how this family is.
Yes.
Then do something about it.
Absolutely. Listen,
do something about it.
Listen, I'm going to take a break for a second, not close out the video, but I just want to say something, and I almost forgot. Pastor Frost, could you hand me that over there, please? Oh. Yes. Okay. It's most important thing. Our endeavor, if you want to run it and get, our endeavor is to, especially in these next 2 broadcasts, to reach families at their depth. To bring them back to an understanding that the reason why mom and dad took the time to ride across the country to see other family members is because they understood the importance of keeping family together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we visited.
Yes.
I mean, we went to North Carolina. We went wherever family was. We visited. Our family was brought up to be a tight-knitted family. We would go over to families' houses, and the family would come over our houses. It was a tight-knit family. And we got as a country, especially as church people,
we got to get back to not getting saved all by ourselves, but we got to be cognitive that there are family members out there that are not saved, and that there are family members out there that are saved and hurting. There are family members out there that are saved that are going through churches trying to find something that symbolizes what it means to family without you. And that's that.
You know what,
sometimes it's successful, but it's not good success.
There are family members out there that have messed up.
Yes.
But they need somebody to love them enough to let them know that's not the sum total of you.
Absolutely.
You're greater than your last. You're greater than your last mistake.
Absolutely. They have done some things.
Yes.
And they've done some things in a public view. Everybody knows about it.
Everybody knows it.
But the last people that should throw them away is family.
Family.
No matter what everybody else says, the last people that should throw them away is family. We should embrace them. I don't care what society says about them. That's my family. They may have messed up. They may have made poor decisions. They may have done some things they ought not do, but that's still my family.
They may be on drugs. They may be on alcohol. They may be whatever. They may be in prison. They may be here. They may be there. But still, there's a bond there that needs to be ministered to.
Absolutely. Listen, time is going quickly, but I just want to say this real quick. The Lord has allowed us to finally get our books. I know it may look upside down to you, but get our books published. But you can get all our books at Amazon.com. But this was securing covenants in your relationship, putting everything on the table for clarity. And we thank God. This book is a powerful book that deals with intimate interactions and relationships. Yes, we do. We teach from this. But this book will help you understand what you need to do to keep your relationship at a healthy pace, and what you need to do to pull away from things that are unhealthy. And this next one that we have here, and I've enjoyed this. This is one of the first books. This one right here is one of the first books God dealt with me about and stuff. But this one is the intimacy of a real and healthy relationship. Clarity and openness, honest attention is the key to getting there. And this book right here, you can buy these books at Amazon.com. And I guarantee they'll bless your relationship. They will bless your marriage and stuff. And if you go on Amazon.com, you'll find all of our books. You'll find Pastor's book, The Prophetic.
Empowering the Prophetic Ministry, Keys to a Successful Prophetic Ministry. I want to shout out to all of those who have bought the book.
Yes.
You're going there, you're buying them, you're leaving. Someone have even left 5 stars and talked about how easy it was to read and to understand it. I thank God. Go there, check it out. Check out the book, Empowering the Prophetic Ministry, Keys to a Successful Prophetic Ministry.
Amen. A powerful prophetic. And again, and I've always said this every time we talk about that book, is you don't have to be a prophet to get that book. Now it's most key and empowering to those who are in the prophetic ministry. But for those who need to understand prophetic ministry, those who have gotten prophecies, those who find themselves dealing with any kind of levels of dreams or whatever and stuff, that book will help you.
There's a very big part in there concerning dreams, visions, interpretations, and the different levels of dreams and different types of dreams. So it is very, very, very informative. It is a blessed book. I'm telling you, I look at it sometime myself and I just shake my head because it's all God.
So, but again, intimacy of a real and healthy relationship,
awesome book,
and securing covenants in your relationship. I guarantee you these books will be a blessing. But when you go on Amazon.com, you look for those books that we just named. There's another book that I really want to encourage you to look at for this season.
Depression.
Yes, we deal with a book that deals with the secret struggle of depression. It deals with the dark cloud that wrestles and not only interferes with your mental capacity, or your mental strength, but it deals with your physical strength. It deals how it affects your family and what you need to look for in your family, how to help people who are going through it and stuff. So it's a book that deals with depression that God has given us and stuff. And I guarantee you that book will be a blessing to you. We also have another one that deals with singles in a relationship. Are you ready? They'll be a blessing to you. But these two will really bless. Pastor's prophetic book, I guarantee you they'll be a blessing to you. I want to say this.
Just put our name in. Go to Amazon.com. Put our names in, and the books will pop up.
Absolutely. Let's go and order them. Let them be a blessing to you and stuff. It sows into our life, and we do appreciate that and stuff. And it will bless other people. So we thank you. If you go by and order these books, let us know how they bless you. Go order them, even for this season. Go by and get some for somebody, because somebody in your family, going back to the family, somebody in your family is dealing with depression.
Oh yeah.
Somebody in your family is dealing with struggling with depression, and this is the key thing too. Some struggling with depression because they're hitting a wall about something they don't understand, and it may be as deep as their ministry. They're hearing things about God and they can't seem to get their foot off the ground and need to understand what God is trying to direct me to. I guarantee that book on prophecy that Pastor Flowers wrote will help you and stuff. So I'm telling you, go get these books, bless somebody else with them, and stuff. Bless your family with them. Bless people that you're close to. It'll bless your marriages. It'll bless your relationship.
To those who have gotten the book and you're reading it and you're blessed by it, go back to Amazon. Give me some stars.
Absolutely, absolutely. But let us see. Pastor Fars, I want to hit one more before we get ready to come in, or two more if we can, because we got about 5 more minutes.
Okay. Number 2, it says, it does not matter how you go into the conflict, but it does matter how you come out and what emotionally, mentally, and spiritually come out with you.
Absolutely. And this sometimes we don't pay attention to this and stuff, is that when someone comes to you, and be honest, and look at this too, people and families. Look at this. If I want the opportunity to tell you about my pain, I should also give the person that I'm going to the opportunity to tell me about their pain too, or at least their side of their point of view of what I'm telling them. And if we do that, respecting each other's opinions, perception, thoughts, and how they came out of this, we can leave this having something to work on, not just for us, but for the whole family.
Amen.
Because the whole family may have been kept on hope, because there's sometimes 2 or 3 within the family that just can't seem to get along, and every time they get around the rest of the family, they mess up the whole atmosphere.
Mess up the whole atmosphere.
So when you,
the moment you see them coming.
yes. So if those who are the core of the situation, let's be honest, if those who are core part of dysfunction in the family, if they work together, it's not just to the benefit of them, it's to the benefit of the whole family, and everybody benefits from it. So, we're getting ready to close this on this broadcast, but we thank God. We thank God for all those who joined us, those family and friends. We thank God. We want, if you would do this, please, if you would share this video, because we believe it's really important for families. We believe families need to understand that we have a responsibility, yes, from God, but let's also understand we have a responsibility as a family.
Yeah, and when the younger generation see us pulling together and fighting for family.
Yes.
Fighting for the unity of family. And I'm not saying, you fight for the family, all of a sudden everybody will fall in line.
Right.
No. But for the ones that will fall in line, that's still unity. When they see us fighting for family and trying to pull family together the way family's supposed to be, guess what that's telling them?
Absolutely.
That's telling them family's worth it.
Absolutely.
That's telling them you fight for family too.
And you're snatching away the excuse that if y'all can't get along, what you expect from us?
That's true.
If we do that. How you doing, Mary? Praying for you. I know, amen. I know God is going to strengthen you through this season as well.
Amen.
And stuff. So God bless you. But it's really just about family.
Yeah.
And if we can't see this in this season, it's hard.
Praise God, Trudy.
Amen. Yes.
It's important.
Yes, it's hard,
It's important. Stay together.
Absolutely. It's hard for me. It's hard for us to reach other people in a healthy manner.
Yes.
When we refuse to reach each other with opportunities in a healthy manner.
That's right.
So
And the thing we look at is, did it really happen? Sometimes the answer is yes, it really happened.
Yes.
But is it enough to say, I'm giving up?
Woo! Is enough to throw you away? No. It's not enough to throw you away.
Exactly.
And stuff. And it's, and it's not enough. And if temporarily, let's be honest, if temporarily I threw you away because of my dysfunction, don't hold me to that.
That's
Especially when I'm trying to release.
Let's sit down and talk.
When I'm trying to release both of us from it. Absolutely. Yeah. And don't come like all I want to do is indict you. I want you to show how hurt I am. Guess what? Because we opened up the door to come together. When you came, I saw how hurt you was. So you don't have to advertise how hurt you are. I know I hurt you, and I'm not taking it lightly. I'm not saying it to take it lightly. I know how painful this has been. I know how frustrating this has been. I know how distracting this has been to a lot of things that you wanted to do in your life. So you don't have to come and replay it over again. Let's find out what we need to talk about, so we can uncover where we're both at, so we can go further than this. So that when Christmas comes around again, and I keep using holidays, when Christmas comes around again, we won't come together just because it's Christmas. We come together because we're celebrating us. We're celebrating our family. We're celebrating Jesus. He's the core of it, yes. But we're celebrating what God has given us as a family. And I think this thing is just froze on us. There it is. It came back again. Amen. But we thank God. Listen, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Can you do me a favor? We love you too, Mary. We certainly do. Okay, if you can do me a favor, if you could share this And if you have any questions, I'm just thinking about a lot of things. If you have any questions, because we're going to talk about this for two more broadcasts, because we believe it's important to talk about it.
Ready.
Well,
have your questions ready.
Yeah, have your questions ready.
Or inbox us.
Or yes, or inboxes.
And we won't use your name or nothing, but just inbox us.
Absolutely, absolutely. We just believe it's important. We want to share. We want this season to be a season of sharing, not a season, not a season of just just
talking about
it. We want this season to be a season of sharing, where the gifts come, not just with a peace treaty, but with real action that builds love and builds unity. And when family reunions come, people won't look for excuses not to go, but they'll be excited and anticipate being with their family. So listen, God bless you. Call somebody up this week, not to talk about how they made you feel, but talk about how how you miss them.
Yes.
How you talk about how you miss them. Talk about and one thing that some of us out there know, we never know when the last time we'll see that family member. And I'm not trying to spook you out. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but we never know when the last. Can I share something right quickly? I remember about 3 or 4 years school. 2000. And my wife is more intimate with this and stuff, but because I didn't notice it until after it happened. But one Christmas, Scoop came and over. She said, I don't want any gifts.
On her birthday. Her last birthday.
Was it birthday? I thought it was
her last birthday.
Okay, last birthday. She said, I don't want any gifts. I want to give gifts.
She said, the Lord told her to give
Lord
gifts.
told her to give gifts. And she gave gifts. And about not long after that, she passed away. 2 months later, she passed away. And we shouldn't do this because somebody may pass away, but we should do it because we don't want the last thing we say, even if it's when Jesus raptures us.
Yes.
The last thing we say is, "I'm tired of them. I'm not dealing with them no more." Go and do. Go and do what you need to do to make your heart light.
Yes. And
make your family healthy.
Yes.
And we do that.
Even if they don't receive you.
Absolutely.
You know one thing. You went and did your part.
It's not how you go in.
Don't stop it there.
Absolutely.
Keep going. Call them sometime. Absolutely. Just want to tell you that I love you.
Absolutely.
Don't want to talk about nothing. Don't want to really bring up nothing. But just want to tell you that I love you and I miss the good times that we had. And
one thing, Pastor, we got to remember is family. Family wants to be there when you're happy too. And sometimes we get so used to like we get that funeral mentality. We don't come around until funerals come. And sometimes one of the things I said to church people, I said, if you can't invite me to your celebrations, I don't want to come when your mourning parties. Yeah. It's not that I don't care. I want to be there when you're happy. Yeah. I want to be there when you're rejoicing. So I know how to treat you when you're not.
Can you let me tell you one of the most discouraging things that there can be. The only time you hear from somebody is when there's something wrong.
Absolutely.
I want to hear from you when there's something going on good.
Yes.
When you got that promotion or when, this good thing happened or that good thing happened. Not just when there's something wrong.
Absolutely. And I'm married.
My name is not complaint department.
No. Or sad time. I want to be that shoulder that you lean on. Because sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes we have those moments and times where it looks like nobody's done. You haven't done anything to me.
No.
Nobody's hurt me. Nobody's offended me. But there's just some times where my heart gets challenged. And I feel heavy. And I feel hurt.
And you don't know how your words is ministered.
Absolutely.
You think, man, probably you don't know what they were just going through before you call just to lift them up. Not at least something heavy.
Right.
Not even a long phone call.
Nope.
5 minutes or less.
Absolutely.
Just to tell them how much you love them, miss them, and thought about this or thought about that. They probably hang the phone up and cry.
You know what?
Because of how good it made them feel.
Absolutely. Mary, sometimes it gets really hard to lean, especially when we've been a kind of person that has been a leaner for everybody else. We've been the kind, and it's not always just dysfunction in us to why we can't. And sometimes, moving off that, and then I'll come back to this. Sometimes, yes, we have a problem trusting people, and we may struggle with certain trust levels. But sometimes, if we've always been that fixer, and we have to be healed from being fixers. Mary, sometimes we have to be just say, Lord, please break me from being a fixer, because I can fix so much that after a while I find myself needing to be fixed, and I don't know how to fix. I don't know how to lean to be fixed. And sometimes what we have to do is be able to say, you know what, sometimes I need to allow myself to be entrusted in somebody else's arms, so I can learn what it means to know, because sometimes we can be burnt out as a fixer, and we don't know it. We don't know it. And then we get to moments where we feel like, man, I just feel heavy. I just feel like I don't feel myself. I just feel like I don't know. You can't explain it and stuff. And the reality is that fixers burn out, and they don't know they're burnt out. And when they need to rest in somebody else's arms, to be encouraged, to be strengthened, to be talked to be ministered to, and to be just loved on and stuff, it's hard. It gets it gets hard. And fixers, and that's one thing too, Mary. Fixers don't like to fail people.
No.
Fixers will do they will break their back to make sure everybody else around them gets what they need.
Fixers like to call themselves, I'm proactive.
Yes.
If you tell me something, I'm going to try to find a solution.
Absolutely.
And so if you don't want me to get involved, then don't tell me about it, because I'm so proactive that I'm going to get involved, I'm going to try to fix it. And sometimes they can't fix it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they fail.
Absolutely.
And like she was saying, sometimes it's scary.
Yeah.
But you know.
But that's the step. That's the step we all. Yes. That's the steps we have. That's the steps we have to take. Fixers need support too.
Yeah,
you know, they need to understand. Wait a minute. And sometimes they need someone to be able to say, slow down, because you're burning out.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, you're not hearing your own body. You're not hearing your own caution. You're not hearing your own advice. You're just moving.
You're not hearing whether this is your battle or not.
Right.
You're not hearing your position you should take in this. Absolutely. Is your position an interceder, or is your position a person who goes to battle with them?
Absolutely.
You know.
So
either way, you're battling with, whether it's interceding or hands-on or whatever.
But so that my encouragement to my sister is, you know, just understand that to lean on someone is scary for fixers, but to be able to not worry yourself and bring yourself out in it, you have to force yourself to say, I'm gonna slow down enough to hear my body talk, to hear my cautions talk, to hear my advice, to hear my wisdom, and to be loved and comforted by someone else's care about me, because I'm worth being cared about, and I'm not just a servant to other people's needs. I'm not, you know, and it's nothing wrong being. That's hard
for a fixer.
Oh God, it's hard.
A fixer is hard to minister to.
Yes.
Because they feel like you don't have to do that.
Right.
You know.
I don't want to be no burden.
No. That's the position of a fixer. They feel like they are a burden, but they often taking on other people's burdens, heavy burdens, and take them on. But it's hard to minister to them.
And it burns them out. And then a season comes. And a season comes where they just feel, and they can't explain it. You know, so we'll keep you in prayer. We pray for all of us, because sometimes all of us can get in the mood where all we want to do is fix things. And I understand that sometimes there's things calling on the inside of us to say you need to be fixed in and stuff. So listen, God bless you. Yes, sir. So love you. This I'm gonna say. I saw my brother Bishop Moloch come through and stuff. I was gonna hit a song on John P. Key, but I guess. I'll have to wait for a little later and stuff to get it to him. But we love you and stuff. I'll be calling you pretty soon. Don't start. Yes. That's the thing. That's the thing we talked about. She, Mary saying that she cares a lot, and I'm weak, and that's the thing. Fixers burn out, and they don't listen to a lot of stuff. They don't listen to their own advice. They don't listen to their own signals in their own body, in their own mind. And
something they'll tell someone else.
Absolutely. So we're praying, that the Holy Spirit will force Mary, and I don't mean in a bad way. I'm telling by Him speaking into her spirit. Listen to me. Slow down. Yes. I know you love people. Yes. I know you want to fix things. I know you've been a fixer. I know you want to jump in, but sometimes I want you to take caution and let me tell you the measure of your jumping in, so you won't burn out. And when you leave that, you'll leave there with something that you didn't give to someone else. And I know, but the Holy Spirit certainly can help you get there. I believe that. Listen, God bless you. We went over time and stuff, but that's okay. That's okay. We
thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Keep us in prayer. Please share this. Share this with someone else. And especially, Mary, I know you know some people that are like that too, and I'm sure some of us who listen, share this with them too, and especially
If you enjoy the broadcast, call a family member and speak a word of encouragement.
Amen. Amen. Listen, God bless you. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Again, please share this, and hopefully you'll join us again on the next broadcast. You'll look on this we have a video that tells you that when the next broadcast is in. But again, every first and second and fourth
Okay.
Thursday of each month will be on. So listen, God bless you. Yes, He will. Amen. God bless you. We love you. God bless you. Keep us in your prayers.